Welcome back to Slop So Dumb, I'm not even sure why I'm even making it. Today we're going to be talking about the Queen of Lying. She's only famous for selling pics of her body cheaper than a McChicken nowadays, and also for being a Hassan orbiter and having the most uneducated brain-dead takes, denims. Now I'm in the middle of watching the content nuke on her, and I gotta say I didn't even know of her until Ethan came out with the lawsuit, just being completely honest. But from the clips I watched, I was like, oh, she's dumb. I mean, I don't even know who watches her in the first place. Probably just teenage boys and lonely adult men to goon to her. If you watch her for politics, I fear for your brain and your sense of lifestyle choices. But beyond all the shitty stuff that has come out about denims through the content nuke, we also have Legal Mindset, who talks more about her defense and how fucked it is. So let's see what they have to say.
An affirmative defense means even if Ethan Klein is right, I'm going to get away with it because X. So we're going to score all of those. I'm going to explain to you the law for some of these defenses. I genuinely believe their lawyer may have been high. I actually had to look up some of the defenses because they just pulled them out of nowhere. And literally there are certain defenses they use that aren't even real in this area of law. So the first affirmative defense is failure to state a claim. What failure to state a claim is it says even if all the facts are true, they do not establish a valid legal cause of action. This is saying they're going to be able to remove this on a motion to dismiss. This is an extremely weak argument. Yes, the likelihood of success is COPE for the affirmative defense of failure to state a claim. The motion to dismiss will 100% be denied. There's no way they're going to win on motion to dismiss. It's just not going to happen.
Now, I know we just went over her reply with a different lawyer initially going through it, but now we've had two lawyers so far be genuinely surprised by the lawyer's defense approach. Obviously, I know nothing about the laws, but I do know if two lawyers are saying you're cooked, one is wondering if they were stoned, it's not a good look. I guess it just goes to show how screwed they are, man. I mean, the lawyers are probably having to think more about some kind of defense to hopefully help at all, because other than that, they might as well just assume the position, say I'm guilty, and take what you want.
Next is fair use. Now, this is their strongest of all defenses, and I give it a 5 out of 10, which is the most I'm going to give for any of the affirmative defenses. So if accused copyright infringement, use of the copyrighted material falls under the fair use exception and is therefore not infringement. This is a 5 out of 10. It is a toss-up, but the odds are in Klein's favor.
Yeah, I think this might help them a little, but I think where the video is registered and honestly the evidence against denims in particular is pretty damning, as they literally have the clip of her wanting to take money away from the original creator with ill intent.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime.
And I do think that they will use other clips as well that show damning evidence of her saying terrible things about Ethan. And if you remember, they want to have a trial. So this means people would get to see so many clips of denims. I don't know if she has to be there or if her lawyer can just be there, but if I had to sit in a room with a bunch of random people I did not know and hear my cringy ass clips, I would die.
Okay, next, express license. Did Ethan Klein give Casey Tron and Denims permission expressly to write it? So a plaintiff cannot claim infringement against a defendant who uses plaintiff's copyrighted work if the plaintiff granted the defendant an express license to use the work. So if you said you can use this, it's okay, you can copy this, then you've got no express license, especially if you put that in writing. The likelihood of success is unlikely because there's no written or specific license. There's implied license, the second best defense that is not explicitly granted, but it's inferred from the conduct of the owner or the circumstances. Ethan Klein did at some point make a general statement about how he treats people using his content. However, he did not say, I give you permission to take the entire video with minimal content. And he also did not say, I give you permission to maliciously redirect traffic.
Once again, I'm not a lawyer or even know much about the law, but if Legal Mindset is saying it might be a good defense, I just find it hard to believe, just because like he was saying, there was never any direct license given to do what they did. Once again, I think that there are too many clips on both Casey Tron and Denims that show they already don't like him and wish bad upon him. But I don't think that they even think about it like that. They probably just think it'll be about the one video. But what they fail to forget is that they've given so much evidence before that as well that shows that they probably wanted to take money or that they hate him.
Unclean hands. I love unclean hands. It sounds so good. So this one means someone has behaved badly in the specific situation they're suing about, so they cannot ask the court. So by asserting unclean hands, both Casey Tron and Denims are saying that Ethan Klein did something naughty and therefore he can't sue. The problem is it's not illegal or impermissible or dirty or not practical. Many people register their copyright. In fact, that's what you should do. In fact, you're encouraged to register your copyrighted material. So this seems like a very, very weak argument. I give it a 2 out of 10, and that's me being generous. So by arguing waiver, Casey and Denims and their lawyer are just making this up. I don't see where this is coming from at all. So I say, once again, this is a cope. Now, this one, I think it's arguable, but not likely. It's weaker than implied license. Estoppel is a concept which prevents a plaintiff from asserting a legal claim that contradicts their prior actions or statements, particularly if it would be unfair to the defendant. So it's sort of like an implied license. So you could say, okay, because of the conduct of Ethan Klein in the past and the implied license, there's sort of like an estoppel here that should come out. I still think it's unlikely.
This one I did find the most interesting. It's essentially the argument of, well, he did it first, so it's okay. Or he made fun of me first, so I can now too. But I just don't think that's how things work. And even the other one as well is, once again, just a big old cope. I mean, they're really trying. I don't know how much these lawyers are being paid, but it's probably a lot to be thinking of the bullshit that they are doing.
Justification and excuse. So defendant, that is Casey Tron and Denims, are saying that they admit to committing the crime, but they argue that the circumstances justify or excuse their action. Giving this a 3 out of 10 was really because I looked through the entire thing and I give them so many 1s and 0s. I had to try to give them some 3s because I wanted to be fair. But what is the justification? Because Ethan Klein is a bad human being, because he's a Yahtzee? The law doesn't apply differently to people because you think they're a bad human being subjectively. Did Ethan Klein consent to it through implication? Maybe. I think 10, 15% chance at most. Likelihood of success, very, very low. Innocent infringement. Oh, it's cute. It's an innocent infringement. It's a cute infringement. It means it can reduce the damages that the court awards on a copyright infringement case. It is not a complete defense to liability. Inequitable conduct. So there is a defense in patent law. Remember, this is copyright law. Copyright law is not patent law. Okay? So their lawyer is literally using an argument from patent law, saying that a patent applicant misrepresents or omits material information with the intent to deceive the Patent and Trademark Office. This is literally a non-existent argument, which is impossible, which only applies for patents, not copyright. This is the dumbest thing that I've seen in a while, where a lawyer is going to argue law from an area that we're not even talking about.
Their defense honestly crack me up. Like, do the lawyers have to sit there and really talk like he is to a judge or a trial? Because these all, to me, seem like tactics to waste time and just keep pushing this on until they're like, what? They just want to be done, or they just want to settle or get it done quickly. And yeah, using a law from a different field is pretty bad. I don't know how much damage Ethan is trying to do, but I feel like he's fine if this drags on. Denims will need to be doing some crazy stuff on OnlyFans to be okay.
Okay, unjust enrichment. One party was unfairly benefited at the expense of another party without proper compensation. This is hilarious because the only people that were unfairly benefited were the orbiters, were Casey Tron and Denims, right? The only people who unfairly made money were the orbiters. It was not Ethan Klein. How did Ethan Klein unfairly benefit? It makes no sense whatsoever. Where did his money come? Where did any money come from him? He didn't make anything. This is maximum copium. Saying that Ethan Klein was unjustly enriched. What are you talking about? Latches. The defendant can argue the plaintiff waited too long to sue and that the delay unfairly harms the defendant. This one is another one that is so brain dead. This is completely brain dead. It's near impossible. I give it a 0.5. I wanted to give it a 0, but technically you can make this argument. It's not illegal. They are arguing that Ethan waited too long to sue. Ladies and gentlemen, he literally sued immediately. He literally sued like days after their videos dropped. You cannot possibly sue faster than he did. He had everything lined up and planned, like everything. And he sued me. And they're trying to argue he waited too long. That's their argument. It's fully within the statute of limitations.
The unjust enrichment one is crazy. Like, they wanted to steal money from Ethan, and they had more to gain. I mean, I'm convinced Denims is just making these ideas, and the fact that they're trying to say they didn't sue fast enough is crazy. Like, they thought it was just going to happen overnight.
Failure to register copyright. This one I had to put at a 0. So they make the affirmative defense that while registration isn't required for copyright protection exist, it's necessary to file a lawsuit for infringement. This is another argument that is brain dead, because literally in the complaint itself, they show how they registered it and they give proof of registration. It is literally impossible. The copyright was clearly registered properly. It was done by a lawyer. It was done in the proper way. There is no way this argument wins. It's a 0 because it's properly registered. So lack of notice. Defendants were unaware and could not have known about the lawsuit. Therefore, it should not be held liable. This is one I wanted to give another 0 as well. How are you going to be answering a lawsuit? So you've already answered the lawsuit and you're saying you have no notice? What are you talking about? You know the lawsuit's happening and you have notice, proper notice, etc. You had notice of the copyright, etc. So where's this lack of notice coming from? I don't understand this one. You can see without a doubt, objectively, as I go through that, it is mostly cope. I think they got to stick to fair use as their core defense and focus on that. All the time on this other stuff, really not worth it.
Yeah, they're really grasping for straws at the end here. I mean, I'm really excited for this court case, guys. And the other stuff that will come out, I want to see Ethan's lawyer destroy Denham's lawyer. I just want to see Denham's have to deal with consequences for once in her life. And I mean, I really don't understand how these actual stupid people get in these positions. Stop thinking with your dick, stop watching Denims, let her go work a real job and be a real contributing member to society like she preaches about all her dumbass politics shit. Anyway, that's all the slop I got for you today. Bye.